The role of the church in man's salvation. This has been a roller coaster actually, even in the church's history, all these 2000 years. At one point, there was a firm belief that there is no salvation outside the church. Extra ecclesiam nulla salus. Cyprian, way back, I think it is in the 3rd century, who said that extra ecclesiam nulla salus. If you don't have the church as your mother, you cannot have God for your father. And that salvation was interpreted to be ecclesiocentric, based on the church, centered on the church. It's only from the church salvation goes to others. Um, right now, at least after Vatican Council II, that is no longer the understanding. The question itself is, Jesus said, whoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved, which is true. There is no salvation by any other name but the name of Jesus, Acts 4:12. But anyone who calls upon the name of the Lord is saved. So how do you square this with ecclesiocentrism? Church is very clear that salvation is no longer to be interpreted as centered on the church. Salvation is Christ-centered, Christocentric salvation. And however, like this question also says, salvation is only through the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus. There is no other means. There is no other name. There is no other means also for the salvation. Passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus is the only source of our salvation. The church gives us a way to participate in the passion, death, and resurrection. And so we interpreted church as the center of salvation. Now, if we say church need not be a center of salvation, then the question is, how does people get to participate in the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus? Vatican Council II says that God alone knows how He gives others a role in the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus, but all of them are saved through the passion, death, and resurrection in ways and means that only God knows. So everyone is saved through Christ. Everyone is saved through the cross and His death and resurrection. But the church need not be a medium. But having said that, if I know that church provides a means for me to participate in the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus, and I still say, well, I don't want to avail it, let God give me some other way, as He gives for people who don't know about the church's ways, then I think that is so pedantic and that is stubbornness on my part. I'm not saying that God will not oblige my stubbornness, but all the same, from my side, it is a certain stubbornness. So it is up to them, a person, to see whether they want to be so stubborn and so pedantic in a sense, or they are going to accept and say, yes, I know that there is a means for me to participate in the passion, death, and resurrection there, and go through the church. So it is only for those who don't know that God allows them to participate in the PDR and other ways. But for others, I think we have to have a humility to accept the position of the church.
There are three parts of man's salvation: was saved, is saved, and will be saved. Let me quickly explain. Was saved is when I was a sinner. I was a religious, church-going boy. But at the age of 17, I gave my life to Jesus. So I was saved from being a religious person to being a righteous person. I will explain that in the following questions. I gave my heart to Jesus and I said, Lord, I confess all my sins. I want you to forgive me. So I was saved. Now I am being saved today. Every day the Word of God teaches me. Every time I fellowship with other believers, others encourage me and I encourage others. I will be saved. One day Jesus will come, and that is what the Bible calls as the rapture, when the church would be taken up into glory. Now, at that time, it will not be one denomination or one group. Everyone who has put their faith in Jesus Christ and is walking in right standing with God, they will be taken up into glory. So, what is the role of the church? The church tells the religious to become righteous. The church tells the righteous to walk in righteousness. Thirdly, the church will tell God-fearing Christians to be disciples of Jesus, because one day the building will stay here, but the real church will be taken up into glory. So that is the role of the church.